Hey guys, in this video I'm talking about habits that being on a GLP-1 helped me break. If you're new to my channel, hi, I'm Madison. I was on compound Tirzepatide for 6 months. I reached my goal weight. I lost 34 pounds. I have now been off of it for around 7-ish months, and I have maintained. I'm at the same weight I was when I took my last shots. And I think a big part of the reason I've been able to maintain is because of the habits that I was able to break while on my GLP-1. Before I was on my GLP-1, I was so stuck and frustrated. And I had been kind of unhealthy for years. I'd been in my childbearing years, pregnant, breastfeeding, and I was just trying to survive. And I was someone who prioritized my health pretty much up until that point, and then it became all about taking care of my kids and just surviving. And I think that's when I fell into some really not healthy habits that I was having just a terrible time breaking. And when I got on that GLP-1, I had the food noise gone, the cravings gone, everything, and I was able to spend my time on the medication, really changing my habits. And then I was able to maintain once I got off of it. I did a 2-month wean off of it, and not everyone will be able to get off these meds. There's a lot of people that will be long-termers, and that's just fine. I'm just telling my story and how grateful I am to my time on a GLP-1 and how it helped me break these specific habits. The first one is using food as comfort. I had really sick pregnancies, and to feel better, I would just eat like a big bowl, like a whole box of mac and cheese, or just really carb heavy treats, maybe chocolate brownies, like just not great things. And I would just kind of use it as a comfort for my sickness and everything that was going on. And then when I had little kids who wouldn't sleep through the night and I was so exhausted, then just grabbing whatever is easiest and whatever provided me some comfort was just kind of a go-to. I was definitely using food as a comfort and not food as fuel. And then because I was giving my body that so often, I was craving it. I was craving carbs and cheese and sugar. And if I would try to eat the healthy stuff, I wouldn't feel satisfied. And the cravings would just bother me so much. I would just go ahead and eat it because I had 2 screaming kids and I just wanted, a little dopamine hit. And I realized now I was using food for comfort, for a dopamine hit, to calm down the craziness going in my life. I wasn't using food as fuel, which is what it truly is. When I got on the GLP-1, then all of a sudden I wasn't craving any of that stuff anymore. I wasn't obsessing about food or thinking about food all the time. When I would start to get a little hungry, I would just eat something healthy that nourished my body, that provided protein, provided the energy I needed to keep going. And then I would feel very full and satisfied for 4-ish hours. And then I'd get a little hungry again, and I would just fuel my body with something healthy again to give it what it needs to keep going. And over my 6 months on Tirzepatide, I was consistently giving my body that good stuff. I was consistently making habits that were good for my body, that were healthy for my body. And then when I did taper off of it and get off of it, yes, I was hungrier, and yes, I thought about food a little more, but those cravings were gone. And I will say that I have gone on vacation and kind of gotten a little off the wagon, fine. But then when I got back, kind of those cravings and that kind of obsessing about food was a little back, and it pretty much always takes 3 solid days of eating really clean and getting back into good habits. And then the cravings and the food obsession just calms back down and everything kind of goes more back to normal. So if I do, I'm traveling, or there was a weekend when it was everybody's birthday and I went to 3 birthday parties, or there was a weekend where I ate out, I just got off for a few days. Then the cravings and everything kind of starts to come back. I just kind of know that if I give it 3 solid days of just breaking the cravings and focusing on doing good for my body, then it does get easier. 2, I would stuff myself to full every time. I would eat to 100% full / uncomfortable every time. A lot of this was habits. I just love food. And so I would just keep eating until my plate was full. Sometimes, especially at dinner, I would go get seconds until I was so full that I was actually uncomfortable. And that was just kind of a habit for me. That's how I ate. When I ate breakfast, lunch, or dinner, I just stuffed myself full. And if I wasn't completely full, almost uncomfortable, I was like, oh, I need to keep eating because I'm not full enough. When now, I still struggle with sometimes overeating, like at meal times or something, but I also am able to stop before I'm at like 100% full, and before I'm at definitely pretty much always I can stop before I'm uncomfortable. I think my time on the GLP-1 just changed the way I think about food so much. And when I was on a GLP-1, I was eating a lot less at each of my meals. And so then when I got off of it, I was used to eating a little bit less. I was definitely hungrier, so I'm eating more now than I was on a GLP-1. But I have less of the mindset that I need to stuff myself to full every time. And when you think about it, being completely full slash overloaded is so uncomfortable. You feel bloated and yucky and like all over, just not good. So now I kind of keep that in the back of my mind when I'm having a meal. I definitely, some people say to eat till 70%. I feel like I probably eat till more like 90%, but I stop before I'm stuffed. And I almost never eat till I'm uncomfortable or I feel sick or anything. I also kind of got away from the thinking that I need to eat all my food so I don't waste it. I don't like to be wasteful either, but you know, if I go to Chipotle and I'm full at 75% of my bowl and I'm not going home anytime soon to put it in the fridge, I might just have to throw the rest away. I know I hate it, but I kind of got out of this mindset that I need to stuff myself full so that I don't waste food. You know, honestly, food waste sucks. It's a bummer, but so does making your body unhealthy. So listening to your body cues is important. 3, I definitely had that habit of just eating constantly. I would wake up, have breakfast, have a snack, you know, like an hour later, and then have lunch and then snacks. And anytime I felt a tiny bit hungry, I would eat. And you know, I've learned now that I'm off the GLP-1, feeling a little bit hungry is not a bad thing. Before I had the mindset that the second I was hungry, I needed to fill myself up because I was hungry, and it was just like a dopamine hit. And, you know, every time I felt a tiny bit hungry, I would eat. Now I kind of talk to myself. I do intermittent fasting now, which I started on the GLP-1. It was much easier on the GLP-1, but it is something I've incorporated into my life now. It's great for insulin resistance. It almost always lowers your daily calorie intake because you can only eat so much in your eating window. I just do 14 to 16 hours and I feel great doing that. So I wake up, I push breakfast a little. Then I eat hopefully a high protein breakfast. And then, you know, sometimes around an hour and a half later, 2 hours later, I start to be like, I'm a little hungry, I could eat. I'm a little hungry, I could eat. And I don't tell myself no, I tell myself not yet. I think that is helpful. So I say, not yet. You ate at 10 a.m. Let's try not to have lunch until 2. And then if at 1:30 I'm totally starving, that's fine. But if just an hour later, I'm like, I'm a little hungry, I could eat. I'm like, not yet. Let's have a nice tall glass of water. Let's just distract ourselves. Let's do something else. And then, you know, lunch. And then sometimes I do have like an afternoon snack between lunch and dinner, which is fine. I just like, not like an hour after lunch, you know, I push it a little bit. And then I'll eat dinner. And then I really try not to eat after dinner. And so sometimes, you know, around 9, 10 o'clock, I'm like, oh, I could really do a snack. Something sweet would be amazing. And I just say, not yet. You get to eat in the morning. And if you want something a little sweet, you can have it in the morning with protein. So not yet. You will eat and you will eat again soon, but not yet. I think I had to realize that a little bit of hunger is not a bad thing. And it's not something that you need to fix right away. So it's okay to feel hungry a little bit throughout your day. And it's okay to feel hungry before bed. It's okay to go to bed a little bit hungry. So you get kind of used to it. And now if like I'm on my cycle and I'm having a terrible time and I'm just starving, yes, I eat. This is just like the daily habits that I kind of try to follow. 4, I'd eat what my kids eat. Now, in a perfect world, our toddlers are eating super healthy, well-balanced meals. But that doesn't always happen. A lot of times kids eat kids food. And I mean, I try to do like the hidden veggies, the like hidden protein, whatever. But you know, my kids love mac and cheese. They love chicken nuggets. They love pizza. They, you know, that kind of kid food. And then for snacks, you know, like goldfish, whatever. I try to sprinkle in fruit where I can. Don't mom shame me. But I think you're getting what I'm saying. If I, as an adult, am eating a bagel for breakfast and then goldfish for snack and then mac and cheese for lunch, even if it's with a banana on the side, you know, like that's a ton of carbs and that's not great. So I've had to also teach myself, like, you're an adult, so your meals may look different than them. You're an adult, so you're probably going to need to snack less than your kids. You're an adult, maybe fill up on veggies instead of fruit. So fruit, great for kids, you know, fiber, vitamins, great. But as an adult who is trying to maintain a healthy lifestyle, that's really carb heavy and sugar heavy. So there's just a difference there. And so I have had to differentiate my meals and eating habits will look a little different than theirs. Kind of along with that, my next point is I would always eat my kids' leftovers, like breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So if they had, you know, a little bit of bagel left, I would just eat that after I ate my breakfast. If they had like half a plate of lunch left, I would just eat that after my lunch because I just didn't want to waste food. Do you know how many calories I was adding by doing that? A gajillion. So I also had to learn that I am not a garbage disposal. So if my kids have leftovers, if it is savable, fridge. If it is not enough to save, trash can. I am not the trash can. I would literally eat my full dinner and then I would eat my 2 kids' scraps. When I was on a GLP-1, I couldn't do that. And then I realized what I was doing. I was like, I'm too full. I can't eat their leftovers. And then I was like, fridge or trash can. And then I was like, I can't believe I was doing that. 6, I would always have a little treat after dinner. And it was not good. So if I would have like 1 Reese's peanut butter cup, that quickly turned into 3. It was always chocolate. I love chocolate. And you know, I just don't need it. And I did it because I felt like I needed to reward myself for the day with a little treat. And food is not a reward. Food is fuel. And okay, there are those mean skinny talk girls on TikTok, which I am not a fan of the trend. But this one did kind of hit a chord with me. One of the mean girls was like, you're not a dog, you don't need a treat. And I was like, you know? That's kind of true. Now, I personally would never compare anyone to a dog, and I don't like that trend at all. But I did think about it. I'm like, I do not need a treat. I don't need a treat. I just ate a full, well-balanced meal. I don't need a treat. And, you know, it always takes me 3 days to break habits. But if I do get in the habit of having like a little something sweet after dinner, man, am I craving it the next day and the next day. It takes me like 3 full days of cutting that habit to stop craving it. 7, I used to use like a sugary coffee creamer that had, I don't know, like 150 calories per serving and sugar and all of that. And I started intermittent fasting while on my GLP-1 journey. And I was like, you know what? Black coffee, it's great. I'm good with black coffee. I know not everyone can do it, but I've continued with just having my black coffee in the morning so that I can do intermittent fasting. And I don't miss it. 8, before I didn't prioritize protein and I was not eating near enough and I was eating way too many carbs. And it kind of goes back to like those childbearing years. I was sick when I was pregnant. So anything that like I could get down, and that was usually always carbs. And then I was used to eating that. And that's what I was eating like after the baby. And then I was pregnant again and I would just eat carbs. And then I was used to that. And then I make my kids meals that were like a lot of carbs and I just would eat that. And I wasn't having significant protein sources at every meal. And then I started my GLP-1 and I needed to eat a lot of protein to prevent muscle mass loss. And then I got into the habit of that. And my body, my everything just got so much healthier. And I was filling up on protein and I'm having veggies on the side. And that was my normal meals again. And then off the meds, that was my normal meals again. And I felt so much healthier and so much better. And I am more aware too of what like carbs does to my blood sugar versus protein. And protein helps me like actually improve my metabolism, and carbs just kind of can kill it. And I want to be a healthy person and I want to feel good and feel healthy and not go back to that. So that is a habit I've changed. 9, my exercise was mainly cardio. And you know, I honestly kind of thought that that's what you had to do to lose weight. I had taken this weightlifting class in high school where it was like, it was very geared towards men, and we would do like try to max out and increase our weights. And it was not like low weight, high rep, like women are usually encouraged to. It was like high weight, low rep. And so I was not eating healthy. I was eating a ton. I was like really hungry with lifting weights, and I was just eating not well. But I gained like a bunch of weight in that weightlifting class that was kind of geared towards men. And that happened in high school. And so since then, I had only really done cardio for exercise. And then on my GLP-1 journey, they're like, do strength training, do strength training, do strength training to prevent muscle mass loss. And I was like, okay, I need to switch this up. So I started doing high rep, low weight at my gym. So instead of benching like 60 pounds 4 times and then repeating that 3 times, I would bench 25 pounds, but I would do 10 reps 3 times. So that kind of works into leaner muscle building. I was also watching my diet on a GLP-1 and eating protein and everything. And I saw huge metabolism improvements. Also Pilates. So Pilates uses just like your body weight and natural poses and things to build strength and build muscle. And I love that. I also feel like I got, my lean strength from those 2 things. And strength training truly is what improves our metabolism. Cardio can allow us to eat a little more. It's still great to exercise, but true strength training, I've learned, is so important for our health. My last habit I feel like I broke was throwing in the towel as soon as I got off. When I was trying to lose weight before being on my GLP-1, I had like this same 5 pounds. I would lose, gain, lose, gain, lose, gain. I would kind of fix my habits for a little bit. I'd lose 5 pounds and then I'd have like an off couple days and I'd be like, screw it, and then just go back. And now off days happen. Sometimes you go on vacation or you have like a busy weekend or something, and I'm like, you know what? I need to get back to it. I know I can do it. And I just kind of got to get into that healthy lifestyle again. So for me, it is like, if I have a really off weekend, I will definitely be up a couple pounds that week. And it probably will take me 2 weeks of being good to get back down. It's fine. It is worth that 2 weeks of just living my normal healthy lifestyle. I'm not doing anything crazy. I am continuing to do the workouts I love to do. I am continuing to eat how I like to eat. So I'm not actually doing anything that crazy, and it does go back to normal. All right, that is it for my video. I kind of just felt like talking about how different my lifestyle is now compared to what it was before, and how the GLP-1 kind of helped me change those habits and kind of fix my lifestyle and make healthy choices and habits. I am so grateful for my time on a GLP-1. These are wonderful medicines that help so many. And yes, I did end up going off of it. Not everyone will, because of insulin resistance, hormonal things, like whatever, personal choices, metabolic syndrome, so many things. And so your habits still can be like me, where they look very different than before your GLP-1. So it's still wonderful to have these lifestyle changes and these habits on a GLP-1, even if you're a long-termer. In the comments, I'd love to hear where you guys are at in your GLP-1 journey. What major habits has your GLP-1 helped you change? I love hearing other people's stories. Please give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. It really helps my channel, and subscribe if you have not already. I will see you in my next video.